Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a legendary Brooklyn coach that has been coaching in the community for over 40 years. He served as an assistant coach to legendary Kenny Kings in the 80s. We going back now. That's when I was playing ball, and I remember him on the sidelines. Then he joined the high school ranks in the 90s with my old stomping grounds, New York City's powerhouse, Abraham Lincoln. After leaving Lincoln, he became the assistant coach at Thomas Jefferson in the early 2000s. It seems like everywhere he goes, city and state championships follow. Finally, this basketball head got his opportunity to be the head coach at Brooklyn Lawn Tech High School and made them one of the toughest schools in the city to play. He had players such as Larry Moreno with his 35 points MVP performance in the 2018 city championships. I told you, wherever he goes, city championships follow. What about Matt Scott at Niagara or Miko Johnson at St. Peter's? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, Larry Moreno, he's downtown at St. Francis in Brooklyn doing his thing. We're not finished yet, because with players like Isaiah Falk, Jakai White, and Jordan Johnson, BK Lawn Tech is still rocking and rolling with a 100% graduation rate. This program is destined to be one of New York City's best. Without further ado, help me welcome to the show my guy, Brooklyn Lawn Tech head coach, Kenny Pretlow.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast, go hard. West Coast, go hard. Midwest, go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody, get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's up, Ken?
What's up? Thanks for that.
Brother.
Thanks for that intro.
I'm glad you liked it, my brother. I'm glad you liked it, man. It's well deserved, man. Listen, you've been putting in a lot of work for years, man. And that was the short version. I had to kind of condense it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Trust me.
Yeah, like I tell people, when you coaching, you got a lot of seeds. I put a lot of seeds in the ground, and most of my seeds become flowers. That's the benefit of being a coach. When you're watching kids grow into adults that wind up working and having families and remembering the lessons that they learned through basketball.
Yeah, because brother, I just remember you on the sidelines with Kenny Kings back in the days of Brevoort days, right? And, you guys set a precedence because you guys were mainstays. It wasn't like you guys were just in there being a regular team. You guys were a mainstay in Brooklyn, and we had fun competing against you guys. But I definitely remember you on the sidelines being there and putting in the work with the early, guys like, Pat Alphonse, Half Man, Half Amazing, Booger, all these guys, Nardo, you know what I'm saying? So you had your hand in a lot of plays, man, and not even counting what you did in high school and the grassroots programs everywhere. So we're going to get into all that, my brother.
Yeah, I mean, I think, back in the 80s, I just started coaching because kids just didn't have an outlet, and, crack was prevalent in neighborhoods. So I, found a way to get kids out of the neighborhood to go to different parks and just play some ball, and it just started rolling from there.
That's real, man. So who introduced you to the game, man?
More likely, just growing up, my father would take us out to the park, shoot around. I took a liking to the game. I went to, in junior high school, I went to Sands, which is now Susan B. McKinney. So, over there by Fort Greene, had a lot of guys in there that played ball. So we did a lot of ball playing. So, nobody really introduced me. And then what happened was I wasn't very good. I can tell you that. I was horrible. And I went to a workout with one of my friends who was good. To a guy named Mr. Anderson, Rudolph Anderson, may he rest in peace, Big Red Basketball. And he said, wow, you're really not that good, but if you want to come work out, I'll teach you. And that's where it began. I just, I was more of a student of the game even then because, I was about 95 pounds soaking wet. I wore glasses all my life, but he taught me how to shoot. I started out with a nickname Radar because I wouldn't miss if I was open, and I got better. And kudos to him because he always told me, even then, when I was 16, 17, said, you're going to coach one day. And I'd say, Coach, I'm never going to coach. It's too hard. And he said, you're going to coach because when I teach you something, you use it immediately. You don't wait. You don't give me any back talk. And that's the attributes of someone that sees you get it. I saw it work. And I used to tell him, hey, everything you tell me works. So why wouldn't I do it?
Kids don't realize there's so many things that you can do in the game besides play. And kudos to you for realizing early on that, man, I could do something else in basketball besides being on the court, running up and down. Right?
Yeah.
It's people that keep the score. Matter of fact, my guy, Barry Lastra, I forgot his friend's name. His friend is the permanent scorekeeper at Madison Square Garden. He's had that job for over 30 years.
Yes.
He has the best seat in the house.
Yes. Yes, he does. Yeah.
And I don't think kids realize there's so many other things that you can do to put yourself right there in the game.
Yes. I tell the kids all the time, it's one thing you got to understand. Basketball mirrors life. You have to be disciplined. You have to learn how to be part of a team. You have to learn time management. You have to learn to make decisions quickly. So if you learn this game the right way, and unfortunately we are all not going to make money being a pro, you're going to go to a different a job interview. You're going to go somewhere else where you say, hey, I learned that. I have so many kids that hit me because I don't allow my kids to come to school late. I tell them, you got to be at school on time. Time management is huge. And I tell them all the time, that'll get you a job one day. And if any of them hit me and they say, Coach, you were right. My interview was at 9. I was there at 8:45. So it's definitely, a whole lot of things you could take from basketball that don't even have anything to do with basketball.
Facts. So when you was coming up, who was the best player in the neighborhood, Ken?
Well, I was in Farragut or Williamsburg first. I mean, Farragut, like Fort Greene session back then. And the best player that I probably saw, I was in Brooklyn Tech as a young guy, was probably that team. I used to see Andy Gill play. He was pretty good. Of course, he was good. I grew up watching Pearl Washington, Elmer. I watched Elmer. Him and Elmer together was ridiculous. Of course, all the Marburys before Steph. I saw the brothers play, the Flemings. So it was like a lot of things. In my neighborhood, when I was finally his name was Kevin Mosby. He went to fashion industry. He was really good. He was the guy that introduced me to Rudolph Anderson. And then a guy that used to shoot the crap out the ball. He went to a small school, Grover, Cleveland, named Johnny Johnson. He was really good. So those were the guys that I played with. And then Steve Middleton, all also lived in Williamsburg. So me and him became close friends, and then he was the best basketball player. I love playing with Steve Middleton.
Got you.
And
Yeah, I got you. Got you.
yeah, Steve was a problem. And I watched your interview with him. That was a great story. How he went away. He went to Carbondale. We went out there for his last senior day, and Steve Middleton eventually became the best player that I grew up around.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Let's go back to the Flemings, right? Because I work with a guy, my guy Mike, who I work with in my school. He grew up with the Flemings, and he was just saying back in the days that those guys had it rough coming up, but they were such good kids and such good students of the game. You knew sooner or later, if they keep working, they will eventually make it, right? Now, a lot of people never probably heard of Vern Fleming. Do your homework.
Yes.
All right? Indiana Pacers, great. New York City, great.
Yes.
Okay?
New York City, great. They went to St. John's of the little school, the Beast, little school in Long Island City.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you said, Vern Fleming, NBA, became a solid NBA player for 12, 13 years. And what I like back in those days, that guys competed. Like, come on, at one time in the city, you had Kenny the Jet Smith, you had Pearl Washington, you had Mark Jackson, and these guys would go, and when they would play against each other, it was ridiculous. And who could forget Kenny Anderson? Kenny Anderson, kids don't realize, Kenny Anderson did not play in the first quarter of any game in his freshman year, including the playoffs. He averaged 24, about 24 games. Yes,
right. Yes.
And he averaged about 24 games. So you know he was going to score at least 6 or 8 points in some of them and back then, I used to go to those games. I couldn't wait to go watch. And like I said, I wasn't coaching them, but I was like on the precipice, and I used to just watch these guys. And like you said, like the Flemings, they wasn't the world's great, but they were so smart. Vern Fleming killed people. He used to just get them in that lane, back them down, turn in them that little short jump over them. So the basketball was good then. It was a little different. There was a lot of competition in New York then.
Yes. Your guy Lorenzo Harrington and my guy too, he said KP was the GOAT in coaching Williamsburg versus Brownville Hornets Night Championships. Talk about my soul buzzer beater by Jeff Franklin.
That was, New York City Housing Authority was one of the first tournaments. It was free. You got a shirt and a pair of shorts.
Yes,
and Harry O, I think he passed me, rest in peace. He had the Brownsville Hornets. Those used to be some games. We used to be loaded. He had all the Brownsville cats. I remember first time I ever seen Ephraim Whitehead, 6'6", handling the ball, going coast to coast. I was like, wow, who's this kid? And we used to have wars in housing. We used to have wars in the housing. Yes.
Wow, man. Yeah. So, you already told me what the New York City basketball scene was like through your eyes coming up. You just watching all the greats play and experience and having that experience. What year did you meet Kenny King? Or as we say, Kenny King, but his name is Kenny Jones.
Me and Kenny, he was in Tompkins. I had a little girl that I used to go see in Tompkins. I had heard of Kenny. I think we just met. It wasn't like boom, and we knew each other were. Both had the same name. And that it just came about. It wasn't like a introduction like, yo, this is Kenny. Right. He was there, and back then, Lord, a lot of people don't understand, like a lot of projects had tournaments in the summer. You had Brevoort, which you already mentioned, which was high powered. Sonny Lewis, may he rest in peace, had that rocking. Tompkins had a tournament. So a lot of places had tournaments, and I would take my, by then I had started coaching, I would take my little teams to these tournaments and, and compete. Right. And if you were playing well, then, you could poach a couple of guys off the teams, because I was playing in citywide and stuff. So I could get a kid, hey, you only playing here with Kenny, you could play, and then you could come play with me in this tournament. And that's how I started evolving and getting more kids to play with me. Because when I first started, it was Williamsburg Stars, where I grew up, Williamsburg. And actually, on my first team, I had my two brothers. So I had nepotism going. And
did you start them? Did they start?
Yeah, they both started.
That's nepotism right there.
You can't go home and they say, "Ma, he took us to the game. We didn't play." But now they were all right. My two brothers played. Eventually, they didn't. They stopped starting as I got better. But my first team, yeah, they started.
Good. Yo, your guy Steve Middleton said what's up to you too, man.
Yeah, tell Steve, what up? That's my guy. I call him the big guy.
Yeah. That's right. You got Papa Folk on the call too. He's on the line, of course.
That's one of my. He was probably my first. He was definitely my first Division I player of a guy that I coached a long time.
Really?
Yes, and I found him at 308. The magnet school. I'm in there reffing. And him and his guys was tearing this team up. He was pretty good. Then he started crying for foul calls. I'm like, I'm in, yo. I'm not calling no more fouls. And I just, after the game, I talked to him, and he started to play for me. What was he, about 13 years old?
Wow. And, he said all facts, too.
Yes. That's how I met him. And I, met his brothers, met his mother. She's the salt of the earth. Got involved. I coached LeVar from 12 years old on. So like guys like that, that's like family. That's
And that's what he said about you for sending his son to you. He was like he couldn't send him no other place but to you.
Yeah, I figured I had an in, and what people don't understand is. It wasn't like Isaiah was the best player around. He actually was playing center on the team he was playing for. And I just said, hey, you send him to me, I'll put that work in with him. And right now he's a very skilled guard. He can handle, he shoots the ball well. He's the epitome of hard work. He's the epitome. One of my favorite guys. Been on the freshman, played varsity as a freshman. Has maintained the B+ average 4 years. And a lot of people don't understand, like, they think that's easy. You got to remember, kids got to practice. And when you're on varsity, I ain't practicing for an hour. And
that's
if we
right.
lose a couple in a row, we might have that 4-hour marathon.
That's right.
Yeah, we practice on weekends. And with my program, I'm blessed that I can do some extra things. We may have a game on the weekends. So these guys, they have to stay up on their studies. And usually with freshmen, it's a little harder the first time. But his first report card, I remember, I called Wu. He was, how'd he do? I think he got 175. I said, he's going to be fine. So I call him low maintenance. I love my low maintenance guys. He's coming to school on time. He's going to pass his classes, 80s or better. He's coming in this gym. He's going to work hard. When he go on that court, as a, for sophomore and junior years, he had some bumps, but he was learning. But the one thing he's going to do, give me the best he got. And that's all you can ask. I tell my players, give me the best that you got. I can't ask for nothing else.
I think kids sometimes get so hard on themselves, and sometimes coaches who are not that experienced, when a kid is giving them their all, right? If they come up short, if they gave you their best shot, that's all you can ask for.
That's
you can't knock
a
kid for wanting to give you his best shot. And that's all he can give you.
Yes. That's all. That's all you can ask for. I mean, unfortunately, like I tell my kids, basketball is a win-loss situation. Somebody gonna win, somebody gonna lose. There's no ties, So we're gonna try. But I tell my guys that the center point of my lawn tech situation, we're going to compete. That's what we're going to do. That team is going to remember that they had to, play very hard to the best of their abilities to beat us. And I had to start doing that because you mentioned my 3 Division I guys. When I first had Matt Scott, when he was playing at a high level, I'm in the beat. When I first started at Lawn Tech, we were Acorn first. We didn't even have sports. And if you have the picture of our school, and a lot of people might notice that used to be a theater. That's a landmark.
People may walk right by it and not even notice it.
Yes, yes. And so we have a gym that's probably not bigger than your living room. So we've never played a home game in our gym. So, and we were a B school, we got better and we actually went to back-to-back B championships, lost. And then we went to, I got Matt and he got better and better. And then that's when I said, I got to ramp up our schedule. I can't play against, I can't go scrimmage a B school and play, I got to play the big schools. And luckily at that time I was assistant at Lincoln. So a lot of guys knew. So I was able to go scrimmage Lincoln. Let's go scrimmage Jefferson. Let's go scrimmage Bishop Loughlin, where I spent 10 years coaching. So now the level of competition went up. And then the summertime came, Anton let me play in Dean Street, which is one of the better summer tournaments, your school team. And he doesn't mix a match. You play whoever they give you. So we're playing against the guys that are going to, that are highly touted. And that summer, Matt, we played against Jefferson. I think he had like 30. And then the next game, I think we played St. Raymond's. He had another 30. And that's how your name started. And the first game of the year, we played against Scanlon, and he had 44. And that's when the phone started ringing. And it still took a while because Matt was only 17 years old. He was like a high B-plus student. And you know how schools are. Oh, he's young, we might prep him a year. I'm like, well, you want me to go to his house and tell his mother he got to do another year of high school? That's not going to work. So it took a while, and it actually went into about February, and I remember me and my great scheduling. We played Lincoln in the borough playoffs. We wound up losing by 3-4 points. We played really well, but Matt had like 32 in front of the Niagara coach. And then the next day we played Christ the King in a non-league game. And he had like 36 in that game, and Niagara offered.
Woo!
Yeah. That's what I tell. The one thing I tell kids: when the lights is on, you got to perform. And I got that from Tiny. Tiny was big on setting kids up to have big moments. Hey, lights is on. Lights is on. When lights is on, you got to shine.
That's right. That's right.
So I have the best of both worlds because, like I said, I'm around, at Lincoln, of course, I'm around high-quality guys. I mean, these guys, come on. I knew Bassey was a pro when he was in high school. Lance was a pro when he was in high school. Knew Whitehead was a pro when he was in high school. These guys are like heads and shoulders above the guys they're playing against. And it shows. I mean, Bassey got 3 titles. Of course, Lance got 4. Whitehead got 1, and we probably got upset because we probably should have went back-to-back. But we got upset that year by Jefferson, who had a pretty good crew. And, things happen, and, I go to Jefferson, and part of the first title they won there in 50 years. And I got blessed to be with Slick and Rasheed Dunn, who are both, were high quality. Rasheed is still getting it done. So
that's right.
Yeah.
So you just kept climbing and kept putting yourself in situations to help yourself as a coach.
Yes.
Okay. And also, you're learning how to deal with the star player.
Yeah.
You're learning what it takes to build the star player. All of these things are learning, ways to be a great coach. And now you're in that situation and the lights are on, and what you do? You go out and win a city championship.
Yes. I mean, it was funny. I was 0 for 3 at Lawrence Tech, so I was getting a little worried. We actually blew one. We should have went back-to-back. The year before we won it, we were actually up. I always question myself. We were up. We were up 1. I didn't call a timeout to set my defense, so they threw it in. They didn't really run nothing. They missed, and to this day I will never. That's why I can't watch tape. I don't know how coaches can watch tape. When that shot went up, all 5 of my kids' heads were looking at the ball. And this guy that tapped it in, he couldn't have been bigger than 5'6", 7, 8. No one blocked him out. Tipped it in. We lost at the buzzer. It probably made us stronger because it definitely gavined Larry. He had actually missed the free throw that could have put us up 3. And that next year, he was just amazing. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a guard have the season Larry Moreno had as a senior, especially with everyone in the city that in the A division geared to stop him. Period. I don't care where we went, we're going to stop Larry. And his will and determination and his skill level, because his jump shot, that year as a senior in 17 league games, he made like 81 threes. He averaged 6, 7 threes. Yeah, he had 11 once. He had 10, 7. On an off day, I'm getting 4 or 5 threes. And and in the championship game, they actually cut it to 2, and Larry went on a 15-0 run by himself because, now run his plays, and like I said, he's not missing that.
Wow. That's crazy, man. That when you talk about losing by 1 point and a tip in, it takes me back to 1983-84, my freshman year. We played against Boys High, and Ed Dammit that has the ball with 5 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
And we know he was going to get it. He shot it. All 5 of the Lincoln players went. I'm talking about everyone. And he misses fucking the air ball. It lands in Robert Gilmore's hand. God bless his soul. He taps it in and starts one of the biggest fights in Brooklyn history. Coney Allen versus Bed-Stuy. I'm talking about we was stuck in that locker room for like 3 or 4 hours till they cleared everyone out to school.
Wow.
Crazy. And then they wound up losing to Truman. And history is made. Rod Strickland becomes the star of the city.
Yes.
Right?
Rod Strickland, another great New York City point guard.
Funny how things work.
Strickland. Ridiculous how good Rod was.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. And we still had an argument to this day when I interviewed him, because I said, if we beat boys and girls, I think our Lincoln team beats Truman.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? I just think that Boys High and us matched up pretty well. Right. But we were so focused on Ed Dammit, and he didn't have a great game.
Right.
But that last shot killed us. That's anyway, let's move on.
I know the feeling, though.
You had me reminiscing. You had me reminiscing, fam, because you can tell that shit still hurt me to this day. And I got no burn that when I was a freshman. Okay.
Right. That's when you invested in the team. That's why I tell when I build the team, I tell the guys, like, sometimes the kid might miss a layup, but coach, sometimes the coach, he always misses. I said, guess what? Suppose he misses that layup in the championship game. How would you feel? And I said, exactly. So let's build everybody up so that everyone is invested in saying, let's do the right thing so maybe we don't lose that way. So, that's the one thing that I learned. And just, I was blessed when I started coaching. I went to 5-star and I spent one whole day with Simon Ellaby from Roman Catholic. And he just, and I told him, I was at Lockland and I was pretty good. My JV teams were pretty good. And I said, Coach, I find problems like sometimes, my second and third unit guys going there and guys want me to let up. He said, no, you got to develop 1 through 15. Ain't that other guy for? If you got your second unit in there and his second unit can't keep up, then don't let them do what they do. You put your now you're talking about 11 through 15. What coach could be complaining that 11 through 15? These are the guys that do the grunt work, do all the practicing. And now when you get them in the game, you're supposed to tell them, you can't shoot, you can't break the press because we're up 30. No. He said, win by 50.
That's right.
even though, it's not looked upon like it's running up, but I'm not running it up. I'm coaching I coach my 15th guy just like I coach the best player on my team. I have the same expectations. He's not allowed to do whatever he wants, come to practice and not work hard. No, this is a team. So, I learned that. That was a good lesson. I really enjoyed being around him. And that was right around the time that Rasheed Wallace was killing in college and, of course, went on to have a great pro career. And he was telling me how he had Rasheed Wallace running track, 6'10", running through the woods. But like I said, I was blessed with that. I got to watch a lot of guys through 5-star because a lot of top quality coaches would be at 5-star. So then I could pick their brains during the breaks.
Yeah, you the first guy that I know of that went to 5-star. They got the coaching experience because we all went there to play ball. And again, kids, pay attention. There's more things that you can do besides play the game. Tell everybody, right? Yeah. Now, Ken, your guy Alan Kidd said, ask Kenny about his 2-man team at St. Anne's. I know this shit got to be classic. A 2-man team.
Well, of course, I did coach at St. Anne's for like 4 years, and he's talking about
CYO, right?
CYO.
Look, man, I've
been in housing CYO high school. So CYO, St. Anne's, we was always pretty good. But my 8th grade team, I had Michael Boyden, head coach at Oklahoma State right now. I'm so proud of that. And Omar Cook, who's now finished his 22nd year as a pro overseas. That was my team. Wow. I had 3 other guys out there, but I had those 2. So if you press me,
good one, Alan, good one.
If you press me, Omar, take it out, throw it to Mike, run in front of him, Mike, throw it back to Omar, and he started with this one particular tournament back then, the Flames tournament. I think we won it. We won, I think we scored 163 points in the tournament. The 2 of them scored 161 of them.
Wow.
So what helped with them, which was very beneficial to their training, they learned how to take pressure. They learned how to cut. They learned how to play off of each other. We actually won the CYO championship. We were down 20. We had a little bit of a conflict. We had ISA championship, which was huge, and we had the CYO championship. And June Francis, who was who ran St. Anne's, he said, "Look, KP, go win that, and then this game, if you're a little late, I'll start it." And we won the championship in ISA, so we're rushing. The championship was at Bishop Ford, so I'm making that run. I get there. We were down about 20. He had called all timeout. He stalled the game as long as he could. And I put Omar and Mike were getting dressed, and I knew he was going to win because the other team is looking. And I heard the kids saying, "Oh, they're here. They're here. Look, Omar and them are here." And they went out there, and they just took the 2 of them just went berserk. I think we were up.
Wow.
Yeah, they just like cemented. We're the best 2 8th graders in the city, and we're going to win the CYO championship. And then, of course, so that's the team that Tracy's talking about. My 2-man.
Oh man,
we didn't lose the game either. We didn't lose the game. 2-man team.
Wow. All right. So here's the question, right? I'm gonna get to that one, Rick. We're gonna do this first. Who ads did you see get bust that everyone was raving about, but when you faced them, there was something different?
Wow. You talking about in high school?
High school, wherever. Summer league, wherever. The person that everyone was raving about. But for some reason, I'll give you an example, right?
Right.
I put up a post a couple of weeks or a month ago, maybe a month ago, about Jordan Rowley. Right? Number 3, number 2 player in this whole New York State.
Right.
But then when he faced Thomas Jefferson,
right,
they shut that down. And I heard that from somebody in Long Island before I even spoke to Coach Bud.
Right.
Somebody from Long Island hit me up and was like, "Yo, G, the kid ain't who they say he is." Well, I'm not here to knock anyone, but I'm saying who's doing the ranking.
Right.
Because I see a lot of kids in the city that ain't getting no love. But
rankings are subjective. I tell kids that all the time. None of my 3 Division I players was ever ranked in the top 10 in anything. Didn't matter. Your talent shows.
Thank you.
You don't need to be ranked. You need to show up. And I just was telling my freshman a couple of weeks ago about Jay Moran. I said Jay Moran wasn't even being recruited. The Murray State coach was walking through the gym to go see someone and saw him working out. And that's how he wound up. And now he's probably one of the best young point guards in the NBA. And he wasn't ranked. So rankings are subjective. They look cute. But like I tell kids, I could take these rankings and, use them as toilet paper, because it doesn't mean that this is what's going to wind up the way it winds up. It never does. But I'm trying to think of that. I've coached against a lot of people. And I will tell you this, I've never said, this guy is so good. I do game plans so I can, but I might run something special, like I'm denying, I'm double teaming. So even though that player might not have, then he still would show. But I don't know if I ever really had somebody, let me think, that I went into the game and I said, he's not really that good. Because I respect the game. So if you're good, I'll tell my team, this guy's good. We're going to have a problem. But,
you know what I'm playing right now, right?
I see. Jeopardy. I'm trying to think, man. It's hard. I coach so many games.
If you don't remember, I'm going to come back to it. Because we all had that dude where everybody was saying was all that. And when they faced him, it was like, shut down.
I'll say this. My Lincoln, the year I was the head coach at Lincoln, we played St. Raymond's. And, Isaiah Washington and Sid Green were the dogs. These 2 guys were supposed to be like, da-da. I went and watched them play. I was like, guys, look, stay in front of Isaiah. He can't shoot a jumper. And stay in front of Sidney. He can't shoot a jumper. He's going to get a dunk in transition, and that'll be about it. We won that game. That was a big game, at that time. Even, the Coney Island guys, can KP coaching these big games. We blew them out. And I think Isaiah had 5 and Sid had 7. So I guess that's the freshest 2 in my mind. That those 2 guys wasn't really, when I went to see them play, I didn't leave there like, wow. I left there like, guys, all you got to do is stay in. I ain't running special. I didn't have to double them. I put my 2 best defenders on them, and we was able to handle them.
Yeah, I said the same thing about Isaiah when I saw him play as well. And, I look at some of the people who never get a chance to play in McDonald All-American game or get the hype, the name. And like you said, Ken, when those lights are on and you don't shine.
Yeah, it comes back. And that comes with preparation, though. And I'm huge on preparation. Like my kids will tell you, we in that gym, we working. If you ain't working, get out the gym. We working. We working on handling. We working on jump shooting. We working. We just working. And work can make up for a lack of talent. Like, I've never had the most talented kids at Lawrence Tech. Now, of course, at Lincoln and Jeff, I've had but what I found with those guys, like Slick, Lance, Sebastian, those guys were hard workers because they were so talented, but they were hard workers. So I knew they were going to go far because they wasn't like guys sitting back like, it don't matter. I ain't got to go hard in practice. I get 30 anyway. They dominated practice. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, Tiny would stack practices where he would put Bassey on teams with like 3 really bad players, and Bassey would still win. Lance, same way. So the whole thing, like, I tie it all into, it's work. What is your work ethic? What you put in is what you get out. Yes.
Yeah, man. It seemed like Tiny left the city to you guys now. Bud, Ron Phelps, Will Jackson, all those guys who, still put in the work. How has being or working with Tiny helped you throughout the years? And also, you work with Tiny and Bud, two of the top coaches in the city, man. And you was doing it for a long time and then became assistant to them. How does that help shape you as a coach?
Well, I'll tell you this. It goes back to my Riverside days when I went up to Riverside Church. Mike McElray, Thurn Player, Bingo, Coles. Like, we had a crazy staff. Yes. And what Mike was our AD, and what he told us, everyone, like, if you could have had the best 16 on the team at Riverside, but you might be coaching Super Biddy B.
Right.
And then you're assisting another coach. So he taught us, learn to be a great assistant so that you'll be a very great head coach. So I learned early in those days, like Coach Riverside teams I was coaching were stacked. And I was learning when I wasn't the head coach. Yeah, assistant coaches, yeah. And what you learn as an assistant coach is my job is to give you a different point of view. If you take it and use it, fine. If you don't take it and use it, that's fine. I'm never going to doubt you in the game. I'm never going to get set. And that's something we'll talk about after the game. So when the Lachlan thing fell through and Tiny called me, because at first I was a little leery, like, come on, Tiny Morton, he's already a legend, I'm like, how are me and you going to be able to work together? And he just simply said, KP, I need somebody that, give me, like I said, a different point of view. So I went there, and what I learned from Tiny is Tiny never coaches any team the same. Like, we went to 9 consecutive championship games. We won 3, then we lost 1, then we won the 4. He never coached the team the same because every team was different. And that's when I start saying, oh, you know what? Every year, Tiny would say, guys, we're not defending the championship. You wasn't here last year. You wasn't here last year. Now maybe Lance, freshman year, he wasn't the star of the team. Now it's sophomore year, you got to do more. You got to do more. I got to do this and that. So I start seeing that every team is different. It's the program. All right.
Somebody else said that as well about Tiny.
It's the program. Yep. It's Lincoln. This is Lincoln basketball. This is what we do. It's how we play defense. This is what we do on offense. So, I got my ideas and started saying, because I didn't have it quite that way. I was like, wow, that's a good view. Like, every team is different because kids' roles change. Seniors leave. So, like the year I was defending the championship, I wasn't defending the championship. Larry is gone. 35 points is out the window. I got to replace that. And I ain't replacing it with one kid. I used to tell 2 kids they had to replace that. So that was one of the things I took from Tiny. Like, every team is different. Definitely putting your kids in the right situation. Getting that big game. Getting them into a tournament in front of people, and of course with us, with Lincoln, it was easy. But getting them there, and then, like I said, hey, the lights is on. It's time for you to shine. So that was my biggest thing from there. And with Bud is more intense than Tiny. He's way more intense. He's intense. He's into the game. He's in it and that, and he wants to, we in Jefferson, we're putting pressure on. It's not going to be, we're not laying back. And, so I learned that, a little bit about being able to be consistent. And, with those 2 guys, I was blessed that there were some games where, they listened to my point of view and we came out on top.
That's dope, man. Yeah. Sweet Sim said, why was he mad when the PSAL made him play boys and girls in the playoffs when he was Lincoln head coach?
Well, what happened that year, which I still did not understand, is that us and Jefferson finished tied for the Brooklyn championship. But in the Borough championship game, we lost to them by 1, and we missed a layup at the buzzer that should have won the game. A wide open one, neither. Not no contested. We made a steal up ahead. We lost. So now in the rankings, I had played Boys High twice already in our league. Now, people don't understand. Boys High, I don't care how bad you might think Boys High, that's Ruth Lovelace. That's boys and girls. That's a story program. You're never going to just keep beating Boys High. Now, I had a team of freshmen. We won the first game at Boys High by 3. We won the second game at Lincoln by about 7-8 points. So now in the borough playoffs, in the semifinals, we're matched up against Boys High. They come out, they're intense, down 15 at halftime. Luckily, it was a home game. My guys picked it up. We came back and won. So now when we're going in the citywide playoff, I have played Boys High 3 times, right? So now I'm saying to myself, one, I think I deserve the second seed because Jefferson only lost 1 game the whole year to us. So they wind up giving Cardoza the 2 seed, give me the 3 seed, and then give Boys High the 6 seed. Now, this is a week later. I'm going to play Boys High for the 4th time. I can tell you exactly what's going on. Ruth Lovelace ain't got to pump her guys up. Hey, we're playing Lincoln. Oh, we're going to beat Lincoln this time. Nah, let's go. So they're going mad hard. Their kids are focused. We lost to them 3 times. I'm not losing this time. I could tell you when I met with my team and said we were probably, I know we're going to win the first game. We're going to play Boys High. My kids were like, Coach, why are you worried about that? We already beat them 3 times. Bam.
No.
Freshman
it's hard doing that 4 times. It's hard.
4 times.
Playoff time.
4 times. Now it's all in there, and we wound up losing by 2, and I was upset because I didn't feel that it had to be seeded that way. I thought very simply that Cardoza should have been made to play Boys High, and I could have played. I just thought I deserved the 2 seed. But if you didn't give me the 2
who won the city championship that year?
Wings Academy with my good friend Billy Turnage. Bowie and the big guy.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And look, Ken, I want you to do me a favor at the interview's over.
Yeah.
Go to New York State Wikipedia.
Yes.
For the championships, do that.
Yes.
And just go down the list and scroll down, look at the winners and losers.
Yes.
You'll start to see a pattern.
Yes.
And then do it for the Mr. Basketballs.
Right. Yes.
You start if you smart and okay. And
you do not have to tell me about that bias with that Mr. Basketball.
Man. Let me tell you.
We know that that's not even indicative of. It's crazy. It's crazy. You ain't got to tell me. I was in Glen Falls. Remember, I was in Glen Falls 9 straight years.
Right. Yes.
And I don't think in that 9 years, any Brooklyn player won Mr. Basketball. And we won 4 straight championships. How's Lance not Mr. Basketball? The first 3 Mr. Basketballs come from upstate. Yes. That's where the voting is done, and we don't have no voting. People don't understand. I mean, it was nice. Going to play for a state championship is nice, but people don't understand. Glen Falls is 5 hours, almost 6 hours away, and you don't leave New York. You drive into one hotel town. They got 1 hotel. They don't even have a McDonald's in that town. They got a Subway and a Burger King. And I was about to say, because I got sick. Not sick, but I caught diarrhea after I caught a dunk against Kenny Anderson up in Glen Falls. Now, Here's the deal. So I always say that because All Hallows beat Binghamton in 1985. We get up there and kind of shock everybody. Yes. We beat Kenny and them. Then we beat Arnold Bernard and them, our Savior Lutheran. Right. 8 o'clock game. This Sunday, 12:30. Right. And then if you're not playing a team from up there, there's no one at the game. Like we went out, Lance, when we won the state, We played Bishop McCarroll, one of the teams from up there. They had the kid that went to Syracuse, Tavon Bowie, something like that. Packed, standing room only. We creamed them. Now the next day we playing Holy Cross, Silver Landisburg. This is going to be a good game. And it probably was 20 people in the building.
Wow.
It's just, I was so, and you know, COVID knocked it out. I'm so happy that they were bringing it here, so that finally, you know, like we played Rice up there, Lincoln Rice. It wasn't even so loud. It wasn't even 500, 600, 700 people. They don't know about city basketball, and people from the city is not getting up to Glen Falls. So you ain't even got to tell me to look that up. I've lived that.
The city championship to us, you know, not because we lost, it's like it's worth more.
Yes,
right?
Without a doubt.
All the things you have to go through just to get that city championship.
Yeah.
It's
Slick and Rashid cried tears of joy when we won, because they have been trying to get a championship. Remember, they lost to Southwards.
Yeah.
Mendoza. Try to get back junior year, and now your senior years, they finally break through. And like I said, even though you don't downplay the state championship, that's nice, and we got a couple. Nice. Yeah, you win that city championship, you're the king of the city. That's all you need. That's the icing in the cake. Everything past that is like on your way out the building. You ask whoever birthday party, is there any more cake? And they say, yeah, you get an extra.
That's so real.
That's so real. You get that extra piece.
Chef Don said, Kenny Pretlow, greatest coach there is. KP done a lot for myself and plenty of other kids that made me to a man today. We thank you every day, Coach.
Like I said, I got so many seeds out there. When we talking about kids, I could tell you about kids that played for me, that weren't stars, that are policemen. I got housing managers. I got guys in retail. I got guys on Wall Street. And it just goes back to my theme that I am insisting on, guys. We're going to use basketball to mirror life, to get us where we want to go, because some of us are not playing basketball past this. It might be this team. You might not play past this team. This might be your last team. But I can't go into so many stories, but I am so insistent on my guys, on time, being good students, being good people, learning how to talk. I've had kids that got to go buy belts. Tell me, my coach, I don't do that sagging belt, sagging pants. Yo, why are your pants sagging? Coach, I don't have a belt. All right, well, we'll get you a belt. We go right over here to Rite Aid. You don't need an expensive belt. You don't need a Gucci belt, Louis Vuitton.
That's right.
We'll get you a $2 belt so that your pants can be, like I tell guys, you wearing a do-rag and a hoodie and your pants sagging every night. Like right now, that's went over a radio call. Hey, we just had a bunch of youths running the store they stole. What were they wearing? Do-rag, hoodies, sagging pants. You don't want to be walking down the street, because now they have probable cause because you fit the description. No, you're gonna wear your do-rag and your wave cap. Wear that in the house. Don't wear that out in public. Don't do that. So it's just so many guys, and it's nameless guys. Like the first teams I had at Lawn Tech, those guys were very talented, but I knew, as far as, just getting those guys to pass their classes, 65s and 70s, was hard enough. But I told them guys, you guys are going to be the foundation of this program. And that's one of the things I learned from time. This is a program. I don't have teams at Lawn Tech. I run the program. Certain requirements for you to be in my program. And I said, when we finally win a championship, you guys will feel like a part of it. And don't you know that they won championship? I had about 10 guys from that team came to the game. After the game, they sat there, said, "You're right, coach." They were cheering, they were there, and I let them take pictures with the trophy, just like they was the champ. I said, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be at this point right here. And they saw it. And they saw it. They saw it. Yes. So I have I mean, pretty much, I patted myself as I got, start learning and stuff. I really took to the Dean Smith method of how he treated, people don't understand. Michael Jordan did not ever average 20 points at North Carolina.
No.
But he
And
learned
one of the reasons
how
why
to play basketball.
Kenny Anderson said he didn't want to go to North Carolina because he didn't want to be another horse in the stable.
Exactly.
That was one of the famous
to
quotes,
Georgia Tech
because he know that's how it went.
Right. He went to Georgia Tech where he knew if I need to get 30, I'm going to get 30. Dean Smith would have said, Kenny, we got other guys. But it's just the way he taught basketball selflessly, learn this, learn that. A lot of people don't understand. Michael Jordan did not plan on leaving after his junior year because in North Carolina, as a senior, you get extra benefits. As a freshman, and then you got to carry the film projector stuff. So when you get to that point, he's like, yo, this is the year I get on. And Dean Smith, I had to call him and say, Mike, you're too good. You got to go. So
wow.
I just, I try to, know who all the guys, like I said, I've been blessed. I've been blessed to coach a lot of guys, very good players, but I've got guys out there that just, by the grace of God, I was able to.
I'm going to mention one because as I was doing some research today about one of your guys, and they said one of the reasons why this coach is the head coach at Oklahoma State is because of the early teachings that he had from you. And that's Coach Mike B.
Mike Boynton, another one of my guys, 12, found Mike Boynton during the Jackie Robinson program, another program I was with.
I remember that.
Found him playing in there. He was 10 years old. He was I thought he was going to be 6'7", 6'8". He was tall. I met his parents. And he started playing for me from 10. He's family. That's like a son. That's my son. And he just was around me all his life. He came to Lockland, played, 4 years. All his AAU playing was for me. Played his high school ball for me. Went to college. I still advised him and things like that. And he's just grown. And like I said, that's a big seed. That's like one that's out there. I'm so proud of him. And, now he's out there. And now I get to send him little things like, all right, coach, let's tighten that one up there. But he's I'm so proud of him. I remember I was sitting in my house watching the thing when it came across Michael Boynton Jr. named head coach at Ohio State.
I know he had to be tears of joy, brother.
Yes, I called his father and we were both crying. Tears of joy. So he's huge. Him and Omar, they're good friends to this day. They are best of friends. If Omar Cooks is not overseas playing basketball, he would be sitting next to Mike Boynton on that Oklahoma State bench. Trust me, that would be going on.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
And look, we're going to talk about that too because I need to talk to both of those guys. What's your perception on New York City basketball today, Coach?
I think New York City basketball has a lot of very good players, a lot of good up-and-coming coaches. I think there's too many AAU teams. That's what I think. I think it's so a kid can say, well, I went with this team and he didn't let me play or he got on me. So I'm going to go over here next week. I ain't like it. Next week I'm going over there. And then I'm going over here. And I think it's just too much. Kids you gotta be able to play through some adversity. Yeah, you're not gonna have a good game every game. So what's gonna happen when you're not having that good game and I gotta put you on the bench? Are you gonna sit there and mope and cry, or are you gonna be like your teammates do for you? Are you gonna learn? You gotta play through some adversity. And I think all our old school guys, I know Bingo has mentioned that and stuff. Adversity. I mean, like I can tell you this. Tiny we have smooth sailings with all those guys, but none of those guys ever left. And I've never pretty much lost a player. Riverside, I had Ron Artist at 11 years old. He played for me from 11 years old Played at Riverside his whole career. Boom, boom. To this day, last week I was blessed. He put up his best team. He got me down in top 10 coaches with Phil Jackson. I'm like, thanks. And I know his name is Meta World Peace. I will call him Ron Ron to the end of time. And I said, I'm just blessed to be on the list.
That's
Like,
right.
this guy
That's
got
right.
Phil Jackson, and my name is right there. But I just and those guys and I had a lot. I've had run-ins with my guys, not run-ins to the point yet where it's a butting of heads. And sometimes you need that to happen. You say, all right, now you're getting it. Like, nah, coach, you bugging right now. I got this. Okay, I might have to step back. But I think that's it. I think right now, I think it's getting a little better. You got some good stuff going on. But I'm biased in New York City basketball. I don't care what nobody tell me. You learn how to play in New York City. You are one of the best players. I'm watching Kadari over there at Syracuse. I'm watching Femi. I mean, I played against them guys. But you know what? Right. Now, when ESPN come on and I'm watching them, I'm like, yeah, let them see that.
Yeah.
Let them see that. Let them see that. New York City, my man, 4 years. So I think sometimes, like I said, they just run. Got to have adversities. Life is not, they say it's a bowl of cherries, but guess what? The guy that said that was living in a camp full of virgins. Everybody, a bowl full of cherries.
Listen, bro. Listen, my guy, Terrence Brincher said, yo, G, came out New York State, Mr. Basketball. I go to Texas. I become the all-time leading scorer. Then I get to the NBA, and I'm coming in the last minute and 30 seconds.
Right.
He said, gee, I should have just grew up. Instead of soaking and worrying about that minute and 30 seconds, I should have been happy and made my best in that minute and 30 seconds to work to 2 minutes.
Exactly.
But I got so down on myself, I couldn't really focus because everything was going so right for me.
Right.
And during that moment of adversity, he said, yo, I could have done better, man. He said, I could have done better. And I appreciate guys who are honest with themselves.
Right.
Because you got to go through some adversity.
Yes, that's one of the things Lance said. Lance said, hey, I got to Indiana. I didn't play. I had to work hard in practice. Build their trust up. Put me in the game. I got 2 minutes. Let me give them the best 2 minutes I could give them. And before you know it, Lance was a big-time part of the rotation of a team that was right there to win the title. And he worked. And come on, let's not get it twisted. Lance was a celebrated high school guy.
Definitely.
So, and it goes back, Glenn, to what you did, adversity and work. You're going to face adversity. And if you keep dodging it when it hits you at the wrong moment and you don't react to it right, everything could go out the window. Yep. Everything you work for can go out the window because you can't deal with adversity. Anyway, and I tell my kids, it could be bad. It could be a job. You up for a promotion. You didn't get it. You thought you should have. Now you run around talking about your boss. He's going to fire you. You can't talk about your boss. He's going to fire you.
Yo, so I got sweet Saif, whoever you are asking some really good questions, and I want to get to it. She said, ask him, should Telfair went to college? That's one. Hold on, because I want to make sure. That. All right, and she said, nah, I'm not going to do that. I never really asked coaches to rank their players that they coach, because I'm a coach, and I never do that.
I never. All I can tell you is different views of guys. But should Telfair went to college? You live in a project. You got 13 family members crowded into a New York City housing authority apartment.
What would you do?
And the NBA guy says, we may take you in the first round. And Adidas says, we're going to make you your own sneaker. Jay-Z got you in a video with, and look, I mean, what are you going to do? Go to college or take that 20, 30 million that he got right off the top? I mean,
I tell people this all the time. Me and my guys always have this argument about paycheck versus championship ring.
right.
I tell people this all the time. I'm not knocking on guys who got the championships. I'm not knocking on guys. But I ain't knocking Melo either.
Nope.
Right? I'm not going to knock him because he went for the paycheck and just go club hopping or jock hopping for a ring.
Right.
Which you can say, I want a ring, and they can feminize you. I have my whole different ideas about that anyway.
Right.
Right? So with that question, I say the same thing. If you was in that position, what would you do? You go to college and have them earn millions off you?
Your family. You're talking about the out to get your whole family out. Remember what I said now. New York City Housing Authority Department. I grew up in the Housing Authority Department. How many days you wake up and my mother would say, there's no hot water. The heat ain't working. The ice box. Sometimes it works in my family. You gotta stay home because they send in somebody to fix it. I gotta go to work. You can stay home.
Yeah, somebody said you gotta go to college to get a good job. You can't get a job sooner or later. Listen, I believe player. You have to kind of figure out your way. You didn't care?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, good. So, top 5 basketball players, New York City history.
The best?
Your best.
That I coached or saw. Which one you want? The best players that I've ever coached?
The best players. So here's the deal. To me, you have Lloyd Daniels, you got Pearl, you got Tiny Archibald, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Connie Hawkins.
Okay. You just talking about the best New York City basketball players. So you got to go 5. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor at that time, Power Memorial. Chris Mullins, Zavarian. People forget Chris Mullins' jump shot was unstoppable.
Yes. He was our Larry Bird for sure.
Yes. Kenny Anderson. No one did it smoother or sweeter than Kenny Anderson.
Yeah. He changed the culture like Pearl, yes.
Yes. Pearl Washington. I went to watch Pearl. I always left amazed. The only guy that John Thompson wouldn't press. And we know when Hoya paranoia was upon you, you had problems. Not
He
Pearl.
had
He
Gene
said,
Smith.
back it
He
up.
had Gene Smith dancing in his shoes.
Yes. Yes. And then number 5. Wow. New York City. Wow. You know what? I'm going to go with Lance Stephenson, man. I watched Lance for 4 years. And I'm telling you, man, this is a true story. His senior year, we was on the precipice of losing to the High in the city, not in the city championship, the Brooklyn championship, down 15. Jamal Nixon had just threw in like a half a dunk over him. Tiny called a timeout. They're walking to the huddle. And this is another thing I learned about Tiny. Sometimes you just got to let the moment happen. He walks into the huddle. Lance bent over and said, through his clenched teeth, just like this, "Give me the fucking ball. I'm about to bust these motherfuckers' asses." 15 zip, 1 by 2. And the last play, threw it to Buddha. They doubled him. He threw it to Buddha for the game-winning shot. Period. Just give me the ball. It's over.
That's some MJ. Some MJ is. I'll give you another Lance Stevenson story. When he was 11 years old, I coached against him when I was at CS 21. And all the parents was like, "Oh, he's too old. He's too old." Mama came right over to the score table, bought his birth certificate.
Yes.
I went over and told the parent, I was like, "Yo, be quiet, please." Please.
People don't
'Cause he's already
understand.
killing us.
That was the myth that Lance was older. No, he wasn't.
No.
Lance had a late birthday, September sometime. Lance was always the right age.
What's your
So
thought
that's
on
my top 5 New York
sorry
City.
about that. Yo, what you said?
That's my top 5 New York City.
Bet. All right, cool. So, what's your thoughts on reclassing back?
Let me tell you, I'm not a fan of it when it's done for basketball reasons only. I've had thousands of kids recruiting. I can tell you this: as many phone calls, as many people, coaches that have talked to me, never once as a college coach asked me how old a kid is. Matt Scott got his Division I scholarship, 17 years old. Miko Johnson got his Division I scholarship, 17 years old. Larry Moreno got his scholarship, 17 years old. If they're around the other type of people that say, "Oh, you're too young, you should reclass," you're talking about those guys would have been a year or two behind. If it's done, if a kid is in a situation, in a bad situation, bad family situation, bad environment, you know what, we got to take this kid out of this environment. We're going to throw him over there. Let's reclass him and get him, on the right track. Fine. Nothing wrong with that. But when you play basketball and now you're a senior or you're going into your junior year and you say, "Well, I don't got a lot of offers," and guys say, "Oh, you should reclass." The same colleges that didn't offer you a scholarship last year, why are they going to offer you one next year? When you going to prep school and grow, you're going to get bigger. You can't change your GPA anymore. And so, I just think for the right reasons, yes. But a lot of the reasons why, these guys are reclassing 6th, 7th grade. Like,
Early.
wow.
Early.
Like, I have 3 freshmen in my school right now, starting their high school careers. They're all 14 years old. That means and all 3 of them are great students, but they will never play against guys their own age because they're 14 and nothing for nothing. Most freshmen that are going into high school nowadays are 16.
It's crazy because I was very high on the kid Mel played for the Gauchos,
right?
And they said he reclassed early on,
right?
I don't know. I just ask about these kids, hope that they're doing the right thing. I hope everything works well for them. So Hope everything works out for that kid.
Like I said, to me, it depends on the situation, but I could say that it's overused. To me, way too much.
Yo,
Your talent,
Rob Phelps, hold on. Rob Phelps said, call it what it is, getting left back.
you know, Rob is from the old school. Rob like me. You know, to play at Bedford, you got to have an 80 average. So,
yes.
And he is like, me and him have probably one of the most fierce but friendly rivalries in the A division, and that's what he's talking about. He's not going. You see him. He's not. That's called.
He's not budget. You got a 79.9. Nah, that ain't good enough.
No.
That's
he lost
right.
the championship. He was going for his second straight championship. I forget the kid's name. I think it's Sean Smith. He might throw. And the kid report card came out, and it was something like that, 79.5 or 8. Couldn't play. Lost in the semis. Best player on the bench. Got to have an 80 average.
I always said, Brooklyn Law and Tech, and this is my predictions. Benjamin Banneker and Bedford Academy. I think you guys, when it's all said and done, you guys will be running the city. I'm knocking Lincoln on Thomas Jefferson. Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and boys, they're still going to be there, right? Yeah. But they're the mainstays.
Yes.
Right? They're the mainstays.
I separate the bigger schools, like Lincoln, Jefferson, Boys High. They're going to get, and rightfully so, there are kids that are so good. You need that's where you should be. I'm not going to tell a really good player like, hey, you could be killing the AA. You should be here. No.
Right.
So I separate that. But, you talking about two programs that I respect because I think we all do the same thing. We got high academic kids.
Yeah.
The guys we get in are the guys we develop. I've watched guys that I've seen on the end of Rob's bench senior year killing me. I'm like, this kid is killing us. Banneker the same way. I lost to him in the playoffs this year. And he just, I think we just grind more. I think that A is more of a grind division where, hey, we got to get these kids in and we got to get them better. We're not, like I said, I tell the kids all the time, like, we're not getting a 7-footer. There ain't no 7-footer walking through that door. So we got to work. And I think Rob and Will, you see the Will Jackson, man, he probably coach harder than me. People think I've slowed down a little bit. My old school guys come to my game, they get coach, man, I mellowed out, man.
Yeah, you mellowed out a little bit. That's good. That's good.
You mellowed out, but you know what it is. Like I said, it's a program. So now I don't gotta go crazy. If the whole team, if none of us want to do what we're supposed to do, I'm gonna sit my butt down and relax. I'm not gonna be out yelling and screaming. And you got nobody wants to do what they're supposed to do. Everybody got to have a role. Another thing with my, going to Brooklyn, the kids hate it, but I'm a big Jay-Z guy. Everybody got a role. Now let's get back to yours.
Let them know.
Yeah, let them know, baby.
Jay-Z's a Brooklyn guy for sure, man. We got to respect
Brooklyn, baby. Marcy, I rock with that. But right. those are the type of those two teams you mentioned, two rivalries, but competitive, friendly, and when those guys win, I thought Will and them had an excellent chance of maybe winning the championship. Yeah. And I know how that struggle is. Rob has one, and I have one, so I know Will would love to get one. It's just, it's not even it solidifies. It's just something because you've been working for it and working for it. It's not even a 1-year thing. Winning a championship takes, wow. Like I said, I lost 3 straight at Law and Tech, and, I don't need a championship to solidify the program, but, it's a nice feather in your cap.
It helps. It helps. Listen, I brag about my 1986 team all the time. And you're like, yo, was you with Steph and them? I was like, no, we was before them. They're like, Tiny coach you? I said, damn, thank you. I know I look young, but he was my point guard. Right? Like, I don't care. Like, look, bro, That's the one. I'm gonna take that to my grave, fam. New York City Championship, '86, bro. We did it when nobody else said we could. Right.
Right.
So,
You
brother,
never make an excuse for winning a championship. And like
oh, nah,
I told my kids when they got it,
never.
that's something that stays with you forever. You tell your kids, your grandkids, you have a reunion. Remember that year when we won the chip? And then you guys could go into the crazy. Remember when Coach was bugging in that game and getting in our ass because we didn't do this? So, it's just so many different things. But like I said, I try to replicate that year round. Like kids, you guys, we making memories and strides, and you're going to learn things that's going to help you in life. And I always go back to that. I tell my kids all the time, if God comes to me at the beginning of the year when I put my team together and say, you got 15 pretty good kids there, you can win a championship, but 2 or 3 of them might wind up over here, there. Or all 15 of your guys come and work hard and this and that. No championship, but they all going to graduate this and that. I tell the kids every time, I ain't getting no championship. I have never not graduated a senior at Lawn Tech. And that is the streak that will never get broken because I'm going to graduate you. That's my job, to make sure you graduate high school. Everything else is gravy. So I respect guys like Rob and Will. And then, like I said, the big schools, I do both worlds. So they got different, when you got Lance Stephenson, you got a coach more than just Lance Stephenson. Yeah, Lance Pop, you got other issues. We want this. We got to make sure this is going on. With Slick and guys like that, Bud Bud was right there on the precipice for so long. And, you just want to get over that and win. And he cried. And it's just tears of joy. It's like there's so much. And then, like I said, it's not a 1-year journey. You just do so much. And like I said, boys high, like people could say, let me tell you something. If you're going to tell me I'm going to play boys high in any game, I don't care who boys high got. I know what boys high is made of. Frank Mickens, Paul Brown, Ruth Lovelace, Pearl Washington, Elmer. It's pride. Them kids know that. You walk in that gym, you know who Pearl Washington is. And you're going to have some pride that I'm playing for boys and girls high school. There's certain schools you play, I don't care who they can have kids out there with broken legs. Them kids gonna go so hard, it's ridiculous. And that's what it thing. And it's more than you got Cardoza, Ron DeClario, been there for ages. That's a program. You play Ron DeClario, storied high school coach. Bill turned wings around, storied high school coaches. Sean Mark, look what he's done in the little time that he's done at South Shore. The guy got 2 championships, was trying to get a 3rd. Kids all over the place. And I know Sean. I know the dirt, the grit and work that he was putting into and finally got the opportunity. So that's why I said I think it's enough. And like I said, them type of guys, it's different, So, it's just work. If you don't know work, you ain't gonna win.
And that's the only way you're gonna do it. And it's so tough, getting out of Brooklyn. So seeing you guys come up and doing what you guys doing and showing each other love. Because every coach that I interview, they just give each other love, no hate.
Yeah. Oh, if there's coaches out there hating, you can't hate. How you ain't like? Trust me, I spent 11 years with Tiny. Hate everywhere. Oh, yo, do y'all see that? Everybody that come to the games, Coney Island got Under Armour shit on. Where you think they getting that from? Tiny giving, Tiny got care packages for everybody. Tiny got the, Lincoln at a high level. But guess what? He ain't a bad guy. He ain't cheating. He ain't shooting people. He's putting kids in position for their dream.
To be successful. Yeah.
Three NBA players, 3 McDonald's All-Americans, 9, 10, 11, 12 championships. So, and that's with me and him having a little part in other ways where, it's just a thing of like when I talk to him, like, hey, 2 guys that couldn't get in a room and say, we need to say, I say this, you say that, and we move on or we don't move on. But hate? There's no one that coaches youth basketball that we're doing penance on earth. Because like AU, people don't understand. Kids come to practice. Coach, can you give can I get $1 so I can get something to drink? Coach, I don't got coffee to get home. Giving out 50 cents, $1 here, $1 there. You ain't never getting that back. Nor do I expect it. That's part of the thing. But that's what I mean about doing penance on earth. So when I finally go see my maker, God bless him, I hope that ain't for a while, he's going to say, you know what, look at all them kids he took over there, and he took those kids. Peter, let him in the hall. I want to have the white wings. I don't want to have the red coat.
Look, bro, you doing God's work, man. G
all
Money said,
coaches do though. Like I said, all coaches.
Oh no doubt. But tonight is your night, fam. We're celebrating you. You don't know how long, before I was getting text messages when I put out who could beat up 100 guests. People was hitting me up, Kenny Pretlow. Listen, bro, this is long overdue. So your flowers tonight, brother. For sure.
I appreciate it. But like I said,
and this ain't the last time. Cause we just getting it started, fam. That's right. So what do you think? G Money said, what do you think about the high school seniors who is going to college next year and the NCAA is not counting this year? So most players will be staying.
Oh man, this is a rough year, man. I'm dealing with my seniors now. I pretty much got Isaiah Folk is pretty much set to go to school. Got something we got to take care of. Jordan Johnson, but right now I could tell you what.
Hold on. Right. When they make that decision, please let us be involved. That's it. I want to be there for all the signings. That's right.
Well, what's going on now, Glenn, and it's very hard. I'm gonna tell you, I've talked to about 10 college coaches. Right now, they have no idea who's coming back next year. Everyone is eligible to come back next year. So your whole team can come back. So if you're getting a whole team to come back, you don't have room to bring anyone in. You don't have a scholarship. No one's leaving. So they got to wait. And it's not like these seniors are saying right now, Coach, I'm not coming back. But then you got lower levels and see, I don't got guys that, none of my seniors are D1 guys. They're all good D2, D3 guys, high averages, stuff like that. And that makes it harder because a lot of D2 teams are not even playing. So they don't figure they may lose anyone. So they honestly tell me, Coach, we may not know anything till April or May, which is crazy because that means you're talking about a kid is a month away from graduation and I ain't got him in the school yet. So I'm just, trying to, this COVID has really knocked basketball around with that. Like,
they got so many kids transfer, or they got kids transferring on.
Yes.
I forgot that college site, right? There's so many kids that's transferring.
Yes.
That a lot of people are like in limbo on what to do. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah, that has already started with kids transferring because remember, also next year is 1 year free transfer.
Yeah.
So you got, I can go back to school or I could just transfer. So it is, wow. Like I tell the kids, look, if you get a good situation and of course, I always say, and it's free, because we're trying to go to school for free. We're not trying to go to school and you got to pay $50,000, $60,000 to take you the rest of your life to pay it off. Right, and it's a good situation and you like it, because it doesn't matter if I like it. I've never told them, every kid that I've ever helped with the school, I've never said what school I like. Because that might mean you go to that school and you don't like it and you say, well, I only came here because you like it. So I don't give any opinion. And I said, it's a situation that you like, and then we got to take advantage right now because it is iffy out there right now, iffy. And I've talked to easily over 10, 12 coaches. It's just.
Well, Coach, if things are out of your hand, you keep doing what you're doing. But I'm going to tell you right now, what's in my hands, well, it's not really in my hands. It's on my wall. I could tell because I haven't looked at it yet, but through the phone and I'm looking behind me that he did something nice for you, Coach.
Oh, okay. I saw him over there drawing. I was wondering if I was getting the
people always try to figure out, like, yo, what is this dude doing behind G? You know what I'm saying? He didn't just do one of you. He did all three, man.
He ain't do one of me. Wow. Wow. He got me there, too. Wow, that's nice. Wow.
The X's and O's.
X's and O's. I see that.
He got you without your glasses? Then he got these two with. Yo, this looks just like you, fam.
Yes,
wow.
Yes, that is nice. Yeah, that's nice. That came out real nice. Thank him for me.
Yeah, man.
That's nice.
Listen, Coach. Like I said, this won't be the last time we chopping it up, man. I just want to say,
problem.
Keep doing what you're doing.
You keep doing what you're doing, because like I said, the same way, like you're giving a voice and a board out there, and like you said, people texting you, oh, KP and this and that, and I always, you know, if I miss your show, I just catch it the next day and run it, because like I said, I watched Elman the other day because he's one of the guys I used to go watch.
Amazing.
So
amazing.
And like I said, and you know, maybe the kids are listening and the ones, and they start understanding a little bit about, you know, how this could be done. It can be done. It can be done. You know, so this is your show is a good springboard and gets out there, and so I really appreciated you texting me to be on the show, and anytime you need me here. And like I said, when I finally get my seniors done, I will definitely shoot you a text so you know.
For sure. Jakai White, Isaiah Falk, and Jordan Johnson, all my guys, for sure.
If we were playing this year, those guys would easily get schools, because all three of them are good, and all three of them are academically qualified. They don't need anything. They ain't got to do this. They ain't got to do that. So yes, I will definitely hopefully look forward to having them be part of the show once we can get everything solidified.
Yes, and Jakai, actually, he won an award, Student Athlete Award. I got his award back here. I'm going to definitely give it to his father when I see Cook.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because every year.
We saw that. We put that up. We definitely put that all over the place. Yeah.
I have a former student athlete who was murdered some years ago. Clayton C.J. Hemingway. I'm from East New York. He lived in London houses. Kid, great kid. Could have been one of your kids. Could have been one of Rob's kids, right? Great kid. 85, 90 average.
Wow. Got
along with everyone. He was our star point guard, and someone took his life. So in his honor, we're going to keep celebrating his life and give these awards to our high school students for doing the right thing.
That's good. That's good.
For sure.
Yeah. All right,
my brother. I'm going to highlight you.
All right. It was a pleasure being there, and thanks a lot.
No doubt.
Talk to you soon.
Wow. Awesome interview. Kenny Pretlow, Brooklyn legendary coach. Brooklyn Law and Tech. That's how we do it. We represent our own, because we are Basketball Head Live, the official home for New York City basketball. Peace.